Ladies and gentlemen, Springboks fans, stop what you're doing right now, because something just happened behind the scenes that has caught South African rugby completely off guard. Before we dive into this, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because what we're about to break down could have a major impact on the future direction of the Springboks, and you do not want to miss what comes next. At first glance, everything around the Springboks seemed calm. Too calm. The coaching staff had gone quiet. There were no explosive press conferences, no leaks, no obvious changes being discussed publicly. On the surface, it looked like business as usual. Preparation, monitoring overseas players, maintaining continuity after recent campaigns. For most fans and analysts, the assumption was simple. Rassie Erasmus would stick to stability, manage workloads carefully, and slowly build toward the next international window. But that assumption was wrong. Because while the public saw silence, decisions were being made behind closed doors. Decisions that now reveal just how differently Rassie Erasmus is thinking compared to everyone else. In a move that absolutely nobody expected at this moment, Rassie Erasmus has taken a bold and deliberate step that signals a potential shift in how the Springboks plan to approach the next phase of international rugby. This is not a reaction to panic. This is not damage control. This is a calculated move. And that's exactly what makes it so shocking. The timing alone has raised eyebrows across the rugby world. With key Springboks regaining form overseas, with combinations starting to settle, and with fans calling for consistency rather than experimentation, most coaches would have chosen the safe route. Most coaches would have protected the status quo. Rassie Erasmus chose to challenge it instead. Why now? That's the question everyone is asking. Because this decision sends a very clear message. No player, no role, and no reputation is beyond review. It suggests that Rassie is already looking far beyond the next fixture, far beyond short-term comfort, and directly toward the battles that truly matter. Ireland's precision, France's power, New Zealand's unpredictability, England's structure. And when you look at it through that lens, this move starts to make a lot more sense. Even if it still feels risky. Sources close to the Springboks environment indicate that this decision has already triggered serious internal discussions. Players are reassessing their roles. Coaches are recalibrating plans. Analysts are split between calling it genius and calling it dangerous. But one thing is undeniable. Rassie Erasmus has once again forced everyone to think differently. This is the same coach who wasn't afraid to rotate squads when critics screamed. The same man who trusted unconventional selections when pressure was at its highest. And history has shown us one thing. When Rassie takes a calculated risk, there's usually a bigger picture involved. Right now, that bigger picture appears to be evolution. Evolution in speed. Evolution in tactical flexibility. Evolution in how the Springboks respond to modern international rugby. And that's exactly why this decision feels so significant. Because it's not just about a system. It's not just about selection. It's about direction. And standing right at the center of this unexpected shift is a player whose name has suddenly become impossible to ignore. A player whose form, influence, and unique skill set may explain everything about why Rassie Erasmus has chosen this moment to act. But before we get into that, drop a comment right now and tell us. Do you trust Rassie Erasmus when he makes bold, controversial calls? Or do you think this one is too risky? Make sure you like and subscribe, because what comes next reveals why this decision has placed one Springbok star directly in the spotlight, and why the risk versus reward balance could define the next chapter of this team. Now, let's talk about Cheslin Kolbe. Cheslin Kolbe, the name that every Springboks fan has been buzzing about, is officially at the center of the storm. His recent performances in Japan's Rugby League One have already caught international attention. But what's happening now goes far beyond club form. This is about his role in the Springboks' future and why Rassie Erasmus has suddenly made moves that seem designed around him. Before we go any further, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, because the story gets even more explosive in the next few minutes. And drop a comment below if you think Colby is the most crucial player for the Springboks right now. We want to hear what you think. Over the past few weeks, Colby has been turning heads with blistering pace, unmatched agility, and clinical finishing ability. Even fans overseas have noticed that he seems sharper, faster, and more decisive than ever. Analysts are already labeling this as a potential comeback season for the Star Wing, and the timing couldn't be more critical. South African rugby is entering a phase where strategic precision is more important than ever, and Colby's skill set aligns perfectly with Rassie's newly unveiled approach. But what makes Colby central to this shock decision is not just his form. It's the tactical versatility he brings to the Springboks. He can break lines, exploit mismatches in defense, and create momentum from situations that would usually stagnate. With Ireland, France, and New Zealand looming on the horizon, having Colby in top form is a potential game-changer. He's not just a weapon in attack, he forces entire defensive units to adjust in real time, opening opportunities for his teammates. Inside the camp, reports suggest that Colby's presence has already shifted the dynamics of selection discussions. Players and coaches alike recognize that his pace and creativity can redefine how the Springboks approach high-pressure matches. That means other stars are now adjusting their positioning, workload, and even mindset to accommodate his style. It's a ripple effect. One player, multiple tactical shifts, and a completely new rhythm on the field. External reactions have been intense. Rugby analysts are praising the decision as bold but smart, arguing that leveraging Colby at this moment demonstrates a deep understanding of international opposition. Meanwhile, fans are divided. Some see this as a clear signal that the Springboks are prioritizing attacking brilliance over traditional structure, while others are worried about over-reliance on one key figure. The debate is heating up on social media, in rugby forums, and across sports shows worldwide. But here's where the tension rises. While Colby offers incredible upside, relying too heavily on his explosiveness introduces risk. Injuries, fatigue, or an off day could have a dramatic effect on results. That's why Rassie Erasmus' decision to build around him now is both audacious and delicate. It's a risk versus reward gamble, the kind that makes coaches famous or infamous, depending on outcomes. And let's not forget the psychological factor. Colby has always been known for his calmness under pressure, but being the centerpiece of a high-stakes international plan elevates the scrutiny he faces. His ability to handle that attention will be just as important as his form on the pitch. So here's the big question for you. Do you think Cheslin Kolbe can carry the Springboks' momentum through these critical upcoming fixtures, or is this too much pressure on one player? Drop your opinion in the comments right now. We want to hear from the true fans out there. Stay tuned, because next we're going to uncover why Rassie Erasmus took this risk right now, what it reveals about the Springbok strategy, and how this move could reshape the team's international approach in ways nobody expected. You won't want to miss this. Rassie Erasmus' decision to pivot around Cheslin Kolbe is not a random gamble. It's a calculated strategic maneuver that reveals how deeply he is thinking about the Springboks' immediate and long-term future. But why take such a risk at this precise moment? That's the question that analysts, fans, and rival nations are all asking. Before we dive deeper, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below if you think Erasmus is making the right call, because what comes next might just change the way you see Springboks rugby forever. To understand this, you have to look at the international landscape. Ireland is coming off a strong series of tests, with tactical precision and a depth of talent that makes them one of the most formidable sides in the world. France continues to grow into a powerhouse with raw strength and unpredictability. And New Zealand, well, they remain the benchmark for speed, structure, and adaptability. Rassie Erasmus is not simply planning for the next match. He's planning several steps ahead. By placing Colby at the center of this strategy, Erasmus is signaling a shift in priorities. Instead of relying solely on traditional power structures, he's emphasizing speed, creativity, and the ability to disrupt opposition plans. Colby is the linchpin in this approach, the player who can force mismatches, stretch defenses, and open opportunities that static plans simply cannot create. Interestingly, this is not the first time Erasmus has made bold, controversial calls. Recall the last major international window where he rotated veteran players, shook up the backline, and faced massive scrutiny for seemingly risking team cohesion. History shows that when Erasmus takes calculated risks, the results often justify the gamble, but they also expose the squad to high-pressure situations that test character and adaptability. The timing is also strategic. With Colby's form peaking in Japan and several other players in transition or managing injuries, Erasmus has chosen this exact window to maximize the tactical impact. Waiting too long could reduce flexibility. Moving too early could spark unrest. But this precise moment balances potential rewards against risk, and Erasmus appears confident in his calculations. Inside the squad, sources indicate that this decision has already altered daily routines and training focus. Players are adapting to Colby-centered drills, defensive structures are being tested against his style, and coaches are recalibrating how the Springboks can transition from attack to defense seamlessly. The entire camp feels charged, a mix of anticipation, pressure, and calculated excitement. Externally, the reactions have been just as dramatic. Rugby commentators are praising Erasmus for his vision, calling it a move that could redefine the Springboks' approach on the global stage. Social media is alight with speculation. Some see it as bold genius, others as reckless. One thing is certain: this decision has everyone talking. And now it's your turn to weigh in. Do you think Erasmus' gamble will pay off, giving the Springboks an edge against Ireland, France, and New Zealand? Or is it a strategy that could backfire under pressure? Comment below. Your opinion could be part of the conversation shaping this story. In the next segment, we'll break down what this decision means for the Springboks' future, who stands to gain, who might lose ground, and the potential outcomes that could shape international rugby for months to come. The stakes have never been higher. As the Springboks gear up for the next crucial phase of international rugby, the implications of Rassie Erasmus' bold move are becoming crystal clear. This is no longer just a tactical experiment. It's a statement about the future direction of South African rugby, and it affects everyone in the squad, from established stars to up-and-coming talents. The short-term impact is immediate. Players who have long relied on traditional structures now find themselves having to adapt to Colby's central role, adjusting positioning, communication, and timing across every phase of play. Even veterans are noticing how the tempo has shifted, as training drills and game simulations increasingly revolve around speed, agility, and exploiting gaps in ways that were previously secondary. For some, this is an exciting challenge. For others, it's a test of adaptability and resilience. Meanwhile, younger players are benefiting immensely. Being exposed to a system that prioritizes creativity and quick decision-making provides a learning experience that few squads in the world can match. They see firsthand how a player like Colby influences both attack and defense, and how Rassie Erasmus manages risks while maximizing strengths. The mentorship and exposure alone could shape the next generation of Springboks for years to come. But there are risks. Over-reliance on one key figure, particularly one who operates in high-risk attacking positions, carries the potential for game-changing consequences if injuries, fatigue, or pressure affect performance. It's a delicate balance, one that Rassie must manage continuously, with every training session and selection choice becoming more critical than ever. Analysts are already speculating about who stands to gain and who might lose ground under this new paradigm. Certain players may see their roles diminish as Colby's influence grows, while others who can complement his style or step into more flexible positions may rise to prominence. This reshuffling creates internal competition, drives performance, and ensures that the squad never becomes complacent. In a medium-term perspective, this strategy could redefine how the Springboks are perceived internationally. Opponents will have to rethink defensive alignments, anticipate high-speed transitions, and prepare for a squad that can pivot tactics instantly. If executed perfectly, this could give South Africa a tactical edge that no other team can replicate easily. It's high risk, yes, but the potential reward is game-changing. And for fans, the excitement is palpable. Every match now carries a sense of unpredictability and drama. Every decision on the field reflects a larger strategic vision that keeps supporters on the edge of their seats. It's a reminder that rugby at the highest level is not just about brute strength, but about intelligence, foresight, and daring. As we look ahead, one thing is certain: something big is coming. Rassie Erasmus has set the stage for a Springboks team that will be faster, more dynamic, and strategically unpredictable than ever before. The coming months will reveal whether this gamble pays off, but for now, the anticipation, excitement, and tension are at an all-time high. Before we wrap up, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. You want to be the first to get every update on Cheslin Kolbe, Rassie Erasmus, and the Springboks' thrilling journey forward. Stay tuned, because the next chapter in South African rugby is unfolding right before our eyes, and you won't want to miss a second of it.